Hey Artnerds! So this is the start of my Nashville Cherry Blossom Festival 2019 recap, and I'm actually beginning it on Friday. So this is the back of my car so far. I'm going to do a con prep stream later tonight where I kind of assemble things and pack things, but I've already started packing and assembling things, as you guys can see. In the back of my car is my tent, 2 tables, a spinner rack, a large flower, a chair to sit on, it's like a little folding stool, and my print rack. It is supposed to rain tomorrow, and I got rained out last year, so I think my plan is just to kind of keep an eye on the weather, and rather than making it a huge point to get there early and set up when they tell me to, I'm just going to respect what the weather does, because what I did last year is I showed up on time, I got like halfway set up, and the rain ruined everything because they didn't put the walls on my tent the way I paid them to and they said they would. So there's not really much you can do about the past but learn from it. So I'm going to be smarter about the weather this year, but I'm really kind of hoping that the showers spare me, because I'm counting on Cherry Blossom for income this year, because I won't be tabling at MTAC. I'm going to be the Artist Alley coordinator, which is the 3rd person in line on the Artist Alley totem pole this year. So I'm not actually going to be tabling, so I do need this income. So anyway, I wanted to show you guys kind of like the bare bones setup. With Nashville Cherry Blossom Festival, you can pay for them to put up a tent, which is what I did last year. You can pay for tent walls, which I paid for last year and didn't get. You can pay for them to provide a table and provide 2 chairs. But, you know, I got rained out and I didn't get a reimbursement, and that was just extra money spent. So this year, I'm just bringing everything, and I'm going to keep an eye on the weather. So I will check in with you guys, probably not during my stream, because I'm going to use my phone to stream the recap. But I'll certainly check in with you guys tomorrow morning, and maybe after I get my car loaded tonight. So this is for the full 2019 Cherry Blossom Festival recap, and this recap is designed for other artists who might be interested in doing craft fairs. There will also be a short version that's going to be taken at the show, and that's just for people who are generally kind of just interested in the show. This is the kind of behind the scenes bare bones, not bare bones, fully fleshed version. Alright, so this mess plus more is going to end up in the back of my car, hopefully organized. I'm doing things a little bit differently this year. I'm not bringing the red rolly bag because everything in it got saturated last year. I'm doing a plastic tub instead, which I hope, considering I sell mostly paper goods, I hope it will protect my stuff during setup, while things are set up, and during loadout. I apologize for the mess that is my apartment. So I just finished my stream, and this is pretty much everything that I didn't show you guys already in the car. And I really don't like how this is packed up. I kind of regret not doing the red rolling bag this year because it is a lot of boxes. And I have a dolly, but I don't think we're going to use it. So it's about 8 o'clock. I'm going to go get my car packed up the rest of the way. So it's like almost 8 in the morning. It is really damp and nasty and wet. And we got to go set up at the Cherry Blossom Festival. I really, really hope this isn't a repeat of last year. We'll find out. Hey guys, good morning. We're about to head off to the Nashville Cherry Blossom Fest, where we are going to set up our tent and vend our wares on this beautiful spring morning. Hey guys, good morning. I am here at the Cherry Blossom Festival. It's a little bit rainy. This is a very different setup from what we talked about last night. I will give you guys a tour in a few minutes. Alright, so since it is so wet and so nasty outside, it's very humid today, I decided not to. I do still have a lot of original art and paper goods out, but I don't have the studio wall that I usually would have for a show like this, so I don't have quite as much art out and on display as I normally would. And we've kind of had to move everything towards the center of the tent because it's been dripping and raining all day, and this tent will dump water sometimes, so we have to move everything in to kind of protect it. But it seems like there's a pretty good crowd despite the weather, and I'm looking forward to eating some tasty food. So it's like 11 in the morning, and everybody's smarter than me and has grid walls, and that's really something I need to fix for next year. And I don't mean to be super complainy. I'm wet. I've been rained on all morning. It's a little bit hard. Oh cool, I have like a yukata booth. It's a little hard to be 100% chipper when you are soaking wet. As you guys can see, my table does not have walls, so I need to get smart about that so I don't get rained on as much. Joseph's helping me out, manning the table. Seems like we have a good crowd every time I leave. So I'm running a different kind of promotion today. I've got a lot of small things that I'd like to move. So I'm doing a, oh what a cute pupper. I'm doing a any 5 for 20 kind of deal. So everybody you see in the pink vest are volunteers. I think that's a really great way to help identify. Oh look, there's another paper artist here. I think that's a really great way to help identify who's volunteer and who can help you. So that's just kind of a quick little quickie tour. Hopefully sales are decent today. And oh. Anyway, when you're doing an outside show like this, the weather is always a factor. Those of you who watch my channel know I got completely rained out last year. So we're sticking it out this year since I'm not doing MTAC as an artist. Kind of need that income. So we're gonna tough it out. At least we're very bright from afar. If I had walls, I think I'd like to get something printed on them to kind of continue that bright mood. Okay, so a lot of umbrellas, a lot of people trying to be springish. I think I'm gonna head back on over to my table, represent my work, and conduct some more sales. So I'll check in with you guys probably later on in the show, let you know how things are going. Okay, so the people doing the proselytizing have moved. I can finally hear my customers. This is my table. Pretty cute setup. The sun has come out. As you guys can see, this place is really populated, good crowd. Sales have been pretty steady all day. I haven't sold any like big ticket items, and I haven't sold a lot of copies of Kara, but I've been selling a lot of mini prints, stickers, that sort of stuff. So it hasn't been bad. I don't have my final tally yet. I will in a little while. As you guys can see, there's really good foot traffic, and this is even despite the fact that, you know, the sun's out right now, but like it's cloudy, it was raining all morning. So I've seen a few other, as I showed you guys, paper artists out here. So I'm not the only one, but as I've said in prior ones, if you can't get into MTAC and you live in the Nashville area, the Nashville Cherry Blossom Festival can be a good show. You're not going to make bonkers money, but you will make money, and it's a good tabling opportunity. You can rent the tents, and if you can't fill an entire booth, what you could do is you could share it with a friend. So, you know, you could get 2 tables in a booth space this big. Or you could even do like these little 4-foot tables like what I have here, or you could do half tables. Like you could really make this work. I could see a group of 6 people doing this space, so long as everybody's willing to cooperate and play nice, basically. Nobody gets jealous. Alright guys, so it is about 5 o'clock. I think the Cherry Blossom Festival is wrapping up. I feel like this year was a really good year. I haven't done my numbers yet. I'll give you a total after I've done my numbers. But once the rain cleared up, sales were very easy. They were very steady. It was mostly smaller things, but towards the end of the show, I started selling larger things, so I feel really good about it. I think I I mentioned earlier in my recap that Cherry Blossom can be a great tabling / convention opportunity, particularly for people who are maybe having trouble getting into anime cons, or just pause it. Anyway, festival was good. I'll get back to you guys with my totals. It's time for us to go ahead and break down. I'll share with you guys what worked for this particular show and what didn't work quite so well.
Obviously Pokemon, since you've got some missing there.
So well at this show. So Pokemon is always a yes. So I will fill you guys in with the rest a little bit later on. Hey arty friends, so yesterday was the Cherry Blossom Festival. I did my final tallies and I sold $621 worth of stuff. That is not necessarily my profit since I paid about $100 to table there. My materials have cost, my time have cost, but I know that some of you guys might be interested in checking out more shows like that. The Nashville Cherry Blossom Festival has been kind of working towards having a wider variety of vendors who are inspired by Japanese culture, which means there are more opportunities for comic artists, for animators, for people who are not necessarily the traditional Cherry Blossom Festival type of vendors, which was mainly like food and sometimes yukatas. So it can be, if you're willing to brave the weather, it can be a good vending opportunity, but keep in mind that you may have a year like I had in 2018 where everything got rained out immediately. All my stuff got really wet and a lot of my stuff got ruined. You can have a year like my first year where the weather was gorgeous and sales were really good, although I didn't sell as well that year as I sold this year. Or you can have a year like this year where if we just had tent sidewalls, it would have been a lot more tolerable. So we really need to invest and up our game if we want to continue to do outdoor shows. So you can't be mad at the show for the weather. They can't control the weather. All you can do is take notes and hope to improve the next year. Other than the protesters that I recorded so that you guys could hear what I was kind of combating, other than the protesters in the background, the weather didn't really seem to deter people. The show was really good. There was interesting music. There was taiko drumming. They had a variety of performances from in the area. It just seemed like a really wonderful opportunity for Nashville to celebrate their bond with Japan and their sister city in Japan, to celebrate Japanese culture and to also celebrate Nashville culture. So it was really nice to see like a nice gestalt that kind of tries to honor as many influences and contributors as possible. Apparently there's also an international festival, which I need to check out, not as a vendor, but just to go have some fun because I love those kinds of street fairs. I like those kind of festivals. So I had a really good time at the Nashville Cherry Blossom Festival this year. The weather was a little bit hard to deal with, like physically hard to deal with, because we were sitting in the cold and damp for 7 hours. That takes a toll. I ended up going to bed at like around 8 o'clock, but I fell asleep at 10. It really took it out of me, but I'm feeling much better now. And hopefully I won't get sick like I did at Handmade and Bound. Sales were good. If the weather were as nice as it is today, sales would be great. I would definitely do it next year if I'm still in the area. And if I'm in New Orleans at this time next year, I'm definitely going to try and do the Cherry Blossom Festival with them if they'll have me. These sort of family-oriented outdoor events I do really well at because I sell kidlet stuff. Those of you who watched my stream on Friday when I was doing comp prep, I was kind of talking about how there is a divide between my convention audience, which is much younger, and my work skews much younger, and my online audience, which is a lot of other artists who are not necessarily interested in my work, but they're interested in my knowledge. These sort of shows give me the opportunity to connect with the audience that actually enjoys my comics and enjoys my illustrations. They enjoy it for just enjoyment, you know, like they're not trying to pick my brain or learn something. And for me, that's really fulfilling to be able to connect with them. So as I keep saying, I had a good time. Sales were good. The food was good. I could have eaten the whole show. And I hope to do another Cherry Blossom Festival next year in the future. So don't let those gloomy, doomy shots of like drizzly rain deter you. And my setup was not as nice as I would have liked. I really had to condense and get everything more towards the middle of the tent because it was so wet. But I don't really think that really stopped the sales. And I was really pleased that the Cherry Blossom girl I created sold. Like somebody was really excited to buy her. And I was really excited for her to go home with someone because I really like that piece. And the person who bought it seemed to really love it. So it's always really fulfilling for me. Also, if you're watching, hi, thank you for buying her. You seem amazing, and I'm really glad she's gonna go to a good home. So, you know, it's really fulfilling to make art that you really like, and then someone else really likes it too, and you're able to trade or sell or give it to them. That's really fulfilling, and that's why I keep doing these kind of events. So I've taken some commissions, I think like 4 commissions. They're all like inked commissions. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to stream them during power hours. But I am not doing a power hour this Friday because I am MTAC Artist Alley staff, so I'm going to be working. But power hours will resume after that. So I hope that gave you guys a good idea of the Nashville Cherry Blossom Festival. Perhaps it gave you some inspiration ideas for your own local cherry blossom festivals. I want you guys to, if you're really interested in this kind of thing, I want you to get a good idea of the scope of what it can entail and what can happen. So I'd like y'all to watch last year's video and the year before that, and I will have those linked in this video and in the description below. And I would also like you guys to check out my video for the Firefly Artisan Festival, which I talk a lot about lighting for outdoor shows, in case you're interested in that. But I really encourage you guys to think outside of anime cons and outside of indie comic cons when it comes to sales and selling to people who will enjoy your work, because there's a whole world of people out there kids who read comics, adults who read comics, or people who are interested in reading comics or open to the idea of reading comics. And you can have a much larger audience if you're just willing to do something a little bit unusual, to take some risks, to take some chances. So if you guys have any questions about the Nashville Cherry Blossom Festival, you can ask me, but I highly recommend you get in contact with them. And if you have any questions about selling paper goods like comics, zines, and originals at outdoor shows, you can feel free to contact me. I'm happy to help. You can either leave a comment, you can email me, or you can ask me over at howtobeaconartist.tumblr.com. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys have a great day. Bye, guys!